welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Captain Tang Nguyen, who is the Orange County Fire Authority PIO. Well, welcome. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a lot of information regarding falls, and I know that that is something that really affects a lot of our elderly. I mean, it literally can actually kill them because once they fall, they have a lot of trouble recovering. So let's talk a little bit about some prevention things that you guys are doing.
Yes, so we're trying to push out the information, and this is for actually when it comes to falls, it can be bad for anybody of any age group. But as we get older, our chances of recovering are a lot more difficult. And so that's what we're trying to push out this month is like, hey, these are some things that you can do to try to prevent these from happening. You know, when it comes to medical problems or injuries or anything like that, regardless of age, if you can prevent it, you're way better off than trying to recover from it.
Exactly. Now, so let's talk about prevention. I mean, you have meals and medication and exercise is kind of a header. So let's kind of elaborate on that.
Yeah, so we separated it into two categories, basic categories. One is the health side of it with meals and controlling your overall medical condition. Meals and medication are a big part of controlling blood pressure. And blood pressure, if you don't have that under control, whether it gets too low or too high, that increases your chances of having falls.
Well, exactly. In fact, just the other day, I was talking to somebody about blood pressure, and if it goes see, I guess I don't understand if it goes too high. If it goes too high, is it going to make you pass out just like if it goes too low?
Yeah, so low is definitely going to, because just think of it this way. If you don't have enough blood pressure, you're not going to get enough to your brain, which controls your balance and your alertness. And so that's a big part of it. And then the other side of it, if it's that it goes too high, it causes neurological problems that, we may not be aware of that's underlying. And when it happens, sometimes, it's your last opportunity to know about it.
Wow. Okay. And then, so meals and exercise. I mean, I know exercise is good for anything, including falling, because you're strengthening yourself. But what about meals? What are you referring to there?
It's basically watching what you eat, because if you're not watching what you eat and and you're eating stuff that's going to add to your high blood pressure, that's part of the problem. So that's what we're telling people is that watch what you eat. If you are supposed to be on medication, stay on it. I was a paramedic for many years, and one of the things that I found on calls every so often is that people weren't compliant with their medication. So if they would have taken their medication, they would have been able to control it. But for one reason or another, they weren't compliant with it. And then that's how we found ourselves, meeting the paramedics.
Okay. And then what about keeping your home safe? What are some suggestions there?
We have a whole list of things that you can do, but three things that come to mind right away that I see as a cause is that first is that you got to remove tripping hazards. This goes for anybody and everybody. So make sure that you remove those tripping hazards. Take a look around your home. Some homes we go into, I see shoes piled up by the front door, and it doesn't matter what age you are. If you don't see those, you're going to trip, and sometimes you're not going to recover from that. Number two is make sure you're well lit in your home. You make sure you have lighting that's going to show you. And to me, I see different configurations, floor plans. And, if you don't have enough lighting there, that's a scary prospect to try to cross over that, during the nighttime. And, and it's even daytime too, because, you have shade inside your home and you may not see certain obstacles. And then the last one is, if having assistance devices, whatever it is that you need, whether it be in the shower, I'm not there yet, but I step into a shower and it's slippery. That's scary, regardless of who you are.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, some soaps and things can leave a film on the base.
Absolutely.
You can
Yes.
fall down. Yeah, that is dangerous. So I know there's a few statistics that are out there. Maybe choose the top three that you think are the most imperative for us to know.
These are all statistics from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And it's staggering, some of these numbers that we see here. The first one right off the bat here is that 1 in 4 Americans aged 65 or over fall each year, right? And you know, we were just discussing this yesterday with one of the crews, and you know, they respond to falls. It's just, and over the years, the causes for falls all related to the safety and health tips that I just mentioned. You know, if you had those in place, you definitely reduce the chances. Now, the reality is sometimes, despite our best efforts, we're going to have a fall.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, we want to try to reduce that. And so when you see these stats from the CDC of, you know, how many falls we go on, it's pretty staggering. You know, there's one here that says 30 million senior adults fall annually, resulting in 30,000 deaths.
Wow.
You know, and, you know, as I had mentioned, some of them, there's nothing you can do about, and then some of them you could have. And that's the toughest part for me and the firefighters that I respond on calls with, is that we go out there and it's sad, and we feel for it too. We're just normal people just doing this job, and we definitely feel for it, especially when we think to ourselves, hey, this could have been avoided.
Well, exactly. And then one other one is, the falls result in more than 2.8 million injuries treated in emergency departments annually. And that's including over 800,000 hospitalizations. That's a lot of people that are ending up in the hospital just from falling down.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, and so the thing with falls is that you can have a fall, and depending on, you know, what you hit, how you land, you know, will dictate what kind of injuries you're going to have. But on top of that is what kind of underlying medical problems you may have that would actually make that recovery very difficult. And so we're reaching out to people and just saying, hey, you know what, it's a partnership. We're there if you need us, but the thing is, you have to take an active role in making sure that you're healthy and you're safe.
Well, exactly. And then, of course, with the last 6 months, people have been kind of cooped up. So we have been trying to provide them, with as much online things that they can do for exercising, even though they're not outside, at least they're doing it inside, to try and keep that strength up to prevent them from falling.
Absolutely. And you know what, nothing will ever truly replace the in-person meetings that we have, you know, to go through these exercises. But the reality is we're in an unknown situation with COVID-19. And so we're all rolling with it. And, you know, and Zoom or some sort of conferencing is probably the next best thing. And I can totally sympathize, because I watch my son in the morning. You know, his first class is band, and I'm watching him do jumping jacks in front of a computer screen, which kind of cracks me up. But you know what? He's doing his part too.
Right, exactly. And there's been a lot of things for the folks here. So great. Well, great information. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Great. Have a good day.
All right, you too. And we'll be right back after this.